Hi, my Beekman Town Eagles. Welcome to Miss Woodward Reads. Today, I'm reading one of my most favorite authors and illustrators, Lois Ehlert. Today, I'm reading Red Leaf, Yellow Leaf. I'm thinking about, what season might I be thinking about? Fall. I've been saving this little leaf from my sugar maple tree so I could show it to you. I love my tree, and it says first spring leaf. It was born long before I was. The wind blew seeds from the big maple trees in the woods. They twirled and whirled as they fell to the ground. Do you ever see these outside? Some people call them whirlybirds. Throw them up in the sky and they come down kind of like helicopters. Seeds the squirrels didn't find lay sleeping among the leaves until they were covered with snow. When spring warmed the seeds, they sprouted and sent roots down into the soil. Tiny leaves unfolded on their stems. See the tiny leaves starting to unfold? I think my tree would have been happy to stay there forever, but one day nursery workers came to the woods to collect tree sprouts. And I love Lois Ehlert because she puts information in the drawings. This says garden gloves, and over here we can see it says maple tree roots. They transplanted the sprouts and tended them year after year. Just as the trees were settling in, they were measured, marked, and uprooted again. And the little tag says, Fall Delivery Garden Center. And I love that she told us what type of bird this was. A black-capped chickadee. So if you see a bird like this, you will know it's a black-capped chickadee. And they're called chickadees because they make a sound like chickadee-dee-dee-dee-dee. Chickadee-dee-dee-dee-dee. Each ball of roots was wrapped and tied with twine. See the twine they use to tie up the ball of roots? And then here this tag says sugar maple. Who do we see here? Our little squirrel friend. Ooh, what's it getting onto? I see a license plate. Some sort of vehicle. My tree was loaded onto a truck filled with other trees and delivered to the garden center. We went there in the fall and picked out my tree. Dad had a hole already dug, waiting for it. And there's different types of maple trees. This says silver maple, Norway maple, and sugar maple. We have a lot of sugar maples where we live because we have a lot of sugaring where we get maple syrup. I see something in the dirt. Do you see it? When we got home, we lowered my tree into the hole. I held the trunk while Dad covered the roots with soil. Now every night before I go to bed, I peek out the window and wave to my tree. When it snows, I hang up treats for the birds. And you can see Lois Ehlert, she named some birds in here too. And she told you some things. There's a bud, a bird treat, a downy woodpecker. We have these where we live, a downy woodpecker. You'll notice it has a little red on the back of its head. And another bird treat. You can make these out of peanut butter and bird seed, and birds love them. Or a pine cone with a little peanut butter or honey on it and bird seed. Hang them out on the trees in the winter for the birds, and they love it. Each spring, I look for signs that my tree is growing. Do you think it's growing? I think it is. I see some nice, healthy leaves. Oh, I see a kite tangled in it. Springtime, we like to fly our kites. By late summer, the crown of leaves is bushy and green. I love it when the tree flowers turn into winged seeds. There's those winged seeds. I like to call them helicopters or whirlybirds. What season is it now? The leaves have changed colors. The season is fall, or we can say autumn. But if you want to visit my tree, come in the fall. That's my favorite time. Can you guess why? Why might fall be the favorite time? I think it's because the leaves are changing colors. And if you look, there's a hole in this page the size of a leaf, because on the back page is a lot of information about sugar maple leaves. So cool about the bark, the tree flowers, the seeds, the roots, the sap, the buds, the leaves. If you want to learn more about that, you can read the back of the book. And information about planting a tree, selecting the right tree, preparing the tree site, the hole for the tree. The end. Oh, and there's a little bird treat at the end. If you really like this book, and I know I do, during your library time, see Miss Banker and you can check it out. Bye, my Beekman Town Eagles.